The U.S. is less than 2 weeks away. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick expressed confidence yesterday that the United States can still secure a trade deal with the European Union. NTD's Daniel Monahan reports on the latest negotiations and public opinion on the economy from a recent poll.
Howard Lutnick said he had just gotten off the phone with European trade negotiators, and there was plenty of room for agreement. Speaking on Sunday to CBS's Face the Nation.
Look, the president and the European Union, these are the two biggest trading partners in the world talking to each other. We'll get a deal done.
President Trump threatened on July 12th to impose a 30% tariff on imports from Mexico and the European Union, starting on August 1st, after weeks of negotiations failed to reach a comprehensive trade deal. Lutnick emphasized that key trading partners will ultimately realize it's better to open their markets to the U.S. than face significant tariffs. However, he says no country will completely avoid tariffs, saying at least a 10% tariff will remain, with many countries facing even higher rates.
That's just the way it's going to be, because we can't have these $1 trillion trade deficit. It's just wrong for America, and Donald Trump is going to fix it.
When asked if companies would pass higher costs from tariffs onto consumers, Lutnick responded,
"What's so interesting is that you're worried about the importers. How about the people who build and employ Americans
here? No, I'm asking about people who go to the store
to buy. People who make cars here, people who manufacture here. They don't pay a tariff. They don't pay a tariff at all. So President Trump says it all the time. Build in America, you don't pay a tariff."
A new poll CBS released on Sunday says public opinion on the Trump administration's tariff agenda has been mixed. Roughly 61% of respondents said the administration is putting too much focus on levying tariffs on trading partners, while 70% said it's not putting enough focus on lowering prices. Overall, 60% said they oppose the new tariffs on imports, while 40% say they support the duties. Lutnick shrugged off the poll findings.
Oh, they're going to love the deals that President Trump and I are doing. I mean, they're just going to love them. Farmers, ranchers, fishermen. This is going to be, the next 2 weeks are going to be weeks for the record books. President Trump is going to deliver for the American people.
South Korea is also taking notice of the upcoming August 1st deadline. Authorities say the country's national security advisor is in Washington. The trip comes just 2 weeks after his last visit to Washington for talks on tariffs and security. There were no immediate details on who he was planning to meet. Trump earlier this month said he planned to impose a 25% tariff on South Korea from August 1st. Meanwhile, Japan's top negotiator said Saturday he will visit the United States soon to continue trade talks. Tokyo is hoping to reach a deal to avert a 25% tariff. Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba's ruling coalition failed on Monday to secure a majority in the 248-seat upper house in a crucial parliamentary election. The results further shake the stability of Ishiba's government as Japan faces challenges such as rising prices and U.S. tariffs. Daniel Monahan, NTD News.
Commerce Secretary Lutnick said yesterday that President Trump will renegotiate the United States-Mexico-Canada agreement next year. The USMCA was enacted during Trump's first term in July 2020, replacing the North American Free Trade Agreement. The agreement requires that 75% of automobile components be made in the United States, Mexico, or Canada for a vehicle to qualify for tariff-free treatment. The trade agreement also mandates that up to 45% of parts and components be made by workers earning at least $16 per hour. It also includes a provision requiring the three nations to review the deal every 6 years from its enactment. Lutnick said yesterday it would make perfect sense for Trump to renegotiate the deal as part of an effort to protect U.S. workers. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says the Trump administration is more concerned with the quality of trade agreements rather than their timing. Bessent spoke to CNBC in an interview this morning. He said President Trump will decide whether the August deadline could be extended for countries engaged in productive talks. On China, he said there would be talks in the very near future. Take a listen.
We're not going to rush for the sake of doing deals. We'll see what the president wants to do, but again, if we somehow boomerang back to the August 1st tariffs, I would think that a higher tariff level will put more pressure on those countries to come with better agreements.
What's the latest on China?
Joe, we're going to be engaging in talks in the very near future, and the talks are in a very good place. We had a meeting in Geneva, meeting in London, and I think trade is in a good place, and I think now we can start talking about other things. You know, the Chinese, unfortunately, are very large purchasers of sanctioned Iranian oil, sanctioned Russian oil. So you know, we could start discussing that. We could also discuss the elephant in the room, which is this great rebalancing that the Chinese need to do.
Bessent told CNBC he would encourage Europe to follow the U.S. if it implements secondary tariffs on Russia. On Japan, Bessent said the administration was less concerned with its domestic politics than with getting the best deal for Americans. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth welcomed the President of the Philippines, Ferdinand Marcos Jr., to the